They don't teach you this in school. They don't hand it to you in a textbook, wrap it up in a degree, or sign it into your paycheck. The real steps to wealth, the steps that turn ordinary people into giants, are invisible to most. Not because they're complicated, but because they demand everything. Your belief, your focus, your fire. Becoming rich is not about luck. It is not about having the right connections. It is not about being born into it. It is about mastering the internal before the external. The war is always won in the mind before it is ever won in the world. If you want wealth, real wealth, not the illusion, not the temporary sparkle, not the social media show, but the kind of wealth that echoes through generations, then you must be ready to step outside the ordinary. You must be willing to destroy who you were, to become who you must be. Because wealth doesn't visit the lukewarm. It doesn't come to the hesitant, the soft, or the comfortable. It comes to those who decide, fully, finally, and fiercely, that they will no longer live small. There is a step-by-step path to becoming rich, but it is not written on a map. It is carved into your habits, etched into your mind, and forged in the fires of your discipline. The first step is belief. Because every fortune ever built began with an invisible seed. Henry Ford was laughed out of the room when he said he'd build a car for the average man. They called him crazy. They said it couldn't be done. But Ford didn't need their permission. He had belief. He had a mind married to vision. He had what few men dare to cultivate: unwavering self-faith. Let that be your beginning. Look in the mirror and declare it. I am no longer available for mediocrity. Burn that truth into your identity. Because until you believe, truly believe that you are worthy of wealth, you will sabotage it every time. You will reject it, delay it, undervalue it. But when belief takes root, everything begins to change. Now, belief alone is not enough. The second step is clarity. Most people want money, but they can't tell you why. They chase figures, not purpose. They want freedom, but they chain themselves to vague wishes and fuzzy goals. You must be different. What does wealth look like to you? Not to your neighbor, not to your parents, not to the crowd. To you. See it in detail. Feel it in your bones. Is it a house on the hills or a legacy for your children? Is it freedom from the clock or the power to create change? Until your vision is sharp, your steps will be scattered. Andrew Carnegie saw steel cities before the first beam was ever forged. Walt Disney saw an empire of magic on a blank orange grove in California. They lived their wealth before the world saw it. That is your job. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Design it in your imagination until it becomes more real than your current reality. And once the vision is clear, the next step reveals itself. Purpose. Money without meaning is just paper, but money with purpose becomes fuel. It becomes an unstoppable force. You must know why you're chasing wealth, because the journey will test you. You will be tired, doubted, ridiculed, and stretched thin. But if your purpose is strong, you will not break. You will bend and bounce back harder. Purpose gives you stamina. It's the reason Thomas Edison tried 10,000 times and didn't call it failure. He wasn't chasing comfort. He was chasing destiny. You must find your why, and it cannot be weak. It cannot be borrowed. It must be your own. Because the next step, the one most people never survive, is discipline. Discipline is the bridge between your current self and your wealthy self. Without it, all the belief and purpose in the world is just noise. Discipline is doing what you said you would do long after the mood has left. It's waking up when your body wants to sleep. It's saying no to distractions when your flesh screams yes. It's building when no one claps and pushing when no one sees. Discipline is the quiet killer of excuses, the silent sculptor of greatness. Look at every empire ever built. Discipline was the mortar. It's what separated Rockefeller from every other man in oil. It's what made Oprah rise from abuse and poverty to global domination. It's what made Kobe Bryant shoot in empty gyms when others partied. Discipline turns desire into results. And without it, you will stay broke. Not just in bank account, but in spirit. You want to be rich? Then you must become dangerous to your old habits. You must look at comfort like the enemy. You must replace convenience with consistency. And once discipline becomes your way of life, not a temporary trick, not a 30-day challenge, but your identity, you move to the next step. Action. Ruthless, relentless action. This is where most people hesitate. They plan, they dream, they visualize, but they never leap. The world is full of thinkers who never move, but wealth only answers to those who do. You cannot read your way into riches. You cannot wish your way there. You must act, boldly, decisively, repeatedly. Every single wealthy person you admire is an executor. They didn't wait for the perfect moment. They created it. They didn't beg for opportunity. They built it. You must become a machine of movement. Every day, produce. Every day, push. Every day, take another step, no matter how small. Let the world feel your momentum, because action does something that thought never can. It creates proof, and that proof builds confidence, and that confidence ignites more action. It's a flywheel of power, and once it starts spinning, you become unbreakable. Now, the next step is one most people dismiss, but it's what separates the wealthy in spirit from the wealthy in appearance. That step is gratitude. Gratitude is not just a morning ritual, it is a weapon. Gratitude does not mean you are satisfied. It means you have mastered your emotional state in the present while building the future. You cannot create abundance while living in resentment. You cannot attract prosperity while radiating lack. When you live in constant complaint, when you curse your current reality, you anchor yourself to it. But when you speak thanks over what you do have, you become a magnet for more. Carnegie, Hill, even Edison, they understood this. Gratitude is the soil where opportunity grows. Every morning, speak gratitude like a warrior sharpening his sword. I am grateful for the strength to rise. I am grateful for the fire in my soul. I am grateful for the vision pulling me forward. Because that attitude, that energy, it attracts people. It opens doors. It multiplies opportunities. Next comes a truth few want to hear. To become rich, you must become adaptable. The world will change, trends will shift, economies will collapse and rise again, technology will evolve, and the man who clings to old ways dies in them. Look around. How many giants have fallen because they refuse to adapt? Blockbuster, Kodak, BlackBerry, they once ruled, then vanished. But those who stay fluid, those who learn, pivot, and grow, they survive every storm. Be like water.
strong, shapeless, unstoppable. Be willing to kill your old strategies. Be willing to reinvent. Adaptation is not weakness. It is intelligence. It is the millionaire's reflex. And that leads to one of the most underrated steps in the path to riches: resilience. There will be blows. There will be failure. There will be betrayal, disappointment, humiliation. But hear this: you are not meant to avoid the storm. You are meant to become the storm. The wealthiest men and women on earth are not those who had perfect paths. They are those who refused to stay down. Walt Disney was fired for lacking imagination.
Because when identity locks in, everything aligns. Your habits match your vision. Your thoughts match your goals. Your energy matches your destiny. And the gap between who you are and who you want to be closes. This is not theory. This is physics of the soul. This is how men go from broke to billionaire. This is how legends are made, not born. Now that your identity is rooted in power, the next step is to eliminate what no longer serves you. Cut the dead weight. Yes, that means people. Yes, that means habits. Yes, that means outdated versions of yourself you've clung to for too long. The rich do not carry anchors. They carry engines. You cannot soar while holding on to distractions, drama, and doubt. You cannot rise while staying loyal to your old limitations. Cut the noise. Unfollow people who make you feel small. Block opinions that poison your ambition. Distance yourself from energy that drains instead of builds. Be ruthless. Because your future is too important to sacrifice for temporary comfort or shallow approval. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be legendary. And legends don't explain themselves to doubters. They outgrow them. Now that your identity is rooted in power, the next step is to eliminate what no longer serves you. Cut the dead weight. Yes, that means people. Yes, that means habits. Yes, that means outdated versions of yourself you've clung to for too long. The rich do not carry anchors. They carry engines. You cannot soar while holding on to distractions, drama, and doubt. You cannot rise while staying loyal to your old limitations. Cut the noise. Unfollow people who make you feel small. Block opinions that poison your ambition. Distance yourself from energy that drains instead of builds. Be ruthless. Because your future is too important to sacrifice for temporary comfort or shallow approval. You are not here to be liked. You are here to be legendary. And legends don't explain themselves to doubters. They outgrow them. Now, as you begin shedding what no longer fits your future, you will uncover a deeper truth. Environment is destiny. Want to get rich? Surround yourself with people who make wealth normal. Make being broke feel uncomfortable. Make mediocrity feel foreign. If your circle doesn't inspire you, challenge you, elevate you, change your circle. Because your environment is not neutral. It's shaping you every second of every day. Are you around winners or whiners? Builders or blamers? Stand in a room full of giants long enough, and you will start walking taller. Ideas multiply, standards rise, urgency increases. And suddenly, What once felt impossible is just the baseline. Don't underestimate this step. Environment isn't just physical. It's digital. It's mental. It's energetic. What are you feeding your mind every morning? What content are you consuming? What thoughts are you rehearsing? Clean your environment like your life depends on it. Because it does. Once the environment supports your evolution, the next step is to create systems. Listen closely. The rich do not rely on motivation. They rely on systems. They don't ask, "Do I feel like it today?" They ask, "What must be done today?" Systems remove emotion from execution. Systems protect progress. Systems are what turn momentum into machines. Wake at the same time. Track your income. Automate your savings. Schedule your deep work. Ritualize your growth. Don't wing it. Don't guess. The more systems you build, the fewer decisions you waste. And that means more energy for what actually matters: wealth creation. Your life becomes streamlined, efficient, lethal. This is how the greats operate. They don't trust willpower, they build structure. They don't hope for consistency, they engineer it. Do the same. Build a life where success becomes automatic. And as the systems carry you forward, you'll face the next frontier: time. The rich think of time differently. They don't spend time. They invest it. Every hour has a return. Every day is a compound opportunity. They understand that while money is renewable, time is not. So they protect it like gold. They say no often. They delegate. They prioritize. They move with intention. Because every wasted moment is a stolen dollar. Every distraction is a delayed destiny. You want to get rich? Audit your time like your bank account depends on it. Because it does. Track it. Measure it. Guard it. Stop giving minutes to things that don't multiply you. Stop letting hours drift into the void of scrolling, gossip, and empty busyness. Your time is your life. And your life is your wealth. Treat it as sacred. And with time mastered, you unlock the greatest form of wealth: freedom. Not just freedom of money, freedom of choice, freedom of direction, freedom of who you spend time with and how you live every single day. That is the goal. That is the ultimate reward of walking the path, step by step. Not just a number in your bank account, but control of your hours, alignment with your values, peace in your soul. That is what you're chasing. That is what you're building. And that is what you're becoming, day by day, step by step. But freedom is not the finish line. It is the beginning of impact. Because once you are free, you are dangerous in the best way possible. You now have the power to create, to build, to give, to transform everything you touch. This is where wealth becomes legacy. Most people chase money to escape pain. But the great ones, those who walk the full path, They chase wealth to leave footprints. This is where your story outlives your lifetime, where your children rise higher because of the foundation you laid, where the world is different because you existed. This is not some fairy tale ending. This is what happens when you stack the steps, brick by brick, habit by habit, shift by shift. The fire that started as survival becomes a beacon that lights the path for others. And that is the greatest form of wealth. Multiplication. You don't just get rich. You make others rich. You don't just break the cycle. You build a new one. You don't just change your life. You change generations. That is the power you now hold. But understand this. It all started back at step 1. Belief. Everything you see, everything you feel now surging through you, was born the moment you said, "I will not settle." That one decision. To stop waiting. To stop blaming. To stop existing. And start creating. That was the birth of wealth. And from that moment, every action became sacred. Every day became a tool.
The summit awaits your final ascent, so we push onward, deeper into the heart of transformation. You see, riches are never static. They breathe, they evolve, they demand relentless growth. The man who stops growing is already dying. The woman who clings to past victories is already losing ground. To truly become rich, step by step, you must become a master of evolution. Evolve your mindset beyond limits. Evolve your actions beyond comfort. Evolve your vision beyond the imaginable. The path of wealth is not a straight line. It's a spiral upward, always circling higher, refining, expanding. With each revolution, you shed old fears, old doubts, old versions of yourself. You replace them with sharper focus, deeper clarity, fiercer commitment. This is the power of progressive transformation. You don't arrive once and stay. You become anew, over and over, stronger every time. This hunger for growth is what separates the transient rich from the timeless wealthy. Because timeless wealth is not measured in dollars, but in your capacity to create, inspire, and elevate. You are not here to just collect money. You are here to magnify your impact, to lift others as you rise, to build a legacy that echoes far beyond your years. Step by step, you've crossed thresholds most never dare approach. But remember, the true journey is infinite. It is the pursuit of excellence without end. Where every day demands your best, where every challenge is fuel, where every setback is a setup for a comeback. This is the life you chose. This is the wealth you earned, not just in bank accounts, but in soul. Because richness, real richness, is the alchemy of discipline, purpose, resilience, and relentless faith in the impossible. And now, standing here, at this new edge, you are ready. Ready to become.
And so, with each step forward, the line between who you were and who you are becoming blurs until it disappears entirely. You no longer chase the illusion of riches. You embody the essence of wealth itself. Not because you hoard money or flaunt possessions, but because you've become the master of your own fate, the architect of your destiny. Your mind, once a battleground of doubt and fear, is now a fortress of clarity and unshakable belief. You have shed the chains of limiting thoughts and rewired your brain for success. Every habit, every ritual, every thought is a deliberate brushstroke painting the masterpiece of your life. Remember Ford's relentless spirit, how he revolutionized an industry by refusing to accept the status quo. Remember Lincoln's steadfast courage, how he led a divided nation through unimaginable hardship with unwavering resolve. Remember Carnegie's vision, how he transformed vast fortunes into lasting legacies through strategic focus and bold action. You stand on the shoulders of giants, but the view ahead is yours to claim. This is the power of incremental progress, of becoming rich step by step. It's not about leaps or shortcuts. It's about the steady climb, the daily commitment to excellence, the unrelenting refusal to settle for less. Your journey is a symphony of discipline, purpose, resilience, and action, a melody that only the dedicated can hear and follow. As you continue to build, remember, true wealth is the freedom to live authentically, the strength to uplift others, and the courage to keep moving forward no matter the storms. So rise, create, conquer, because the life you desire is waiting, step by step. Just say the word and we'll keep forging ahead. You move now with a relentless rhythm, a cadence forged in the crucible of sacrifice and fueled by unshakable conviction. Each step you take is deliberate, each action charged with purpose. No longer do you stumble blindly through the dark. You have become the lighthouse, steady, unwavering, a beacon cutting through the fog of doubt. Wealth is no longer a distant dream, but the natural outcome of your mastery. It flows to you as surely as rivers carve valleys, unstoppable and inevitable. But understand this, the river that shapes the earth does so by persistence, not force. It wears down obstacles not with violence, but with unyielding consistency. So too must you be, unbreakable in discipline, unwavering in focus, unstoppable in drive. Every habit you form, every thought you nurture, compounds over time, building an empire within before it ever manifests outside. Like Carnegie, who transformed millions into legacies by investing in himself and others, or Edison, whose endless tinkering turned failure into light, your journey is a testament to the power of persistence. Do not underestimate the mundane moments, the early mornings, the late nights, the repetitive tasks. They are the forge where greatness is shaped. They are the quiet victories no one sees but the one who endures. And when the world tries to distract you, when temptation beckons to settle or quit, remember why you began. Remember the fire that sparked your climb. Remember that every step forward is a declaration. I will not be ordinary. I will not be average. I will be rich, not just in money, but in spirit, in impact, in legacy. Keep walking that path. Keep climbing that mountain, step by step, because that is how empires rise. That is how legends are born. And now, as the horizon stretches wider before you, it's time to grasp the most profound secret hidden in plain sight. Wealth is never just about money. It is the mastery of your mind, the alignment of your soul, the clarity of your vision. It is the ability to move through life with unwavering confidence, no matter the storms raging around you. The richest men in history, Ford, Carnegie, Edison, Lincoln, knew this. They understood that the dollar signs on a ledger are symptoms of something far deeper, the mindset of a conqueror, the belief in one's own destiny, the unrelenting commitment to a purpose greater than oneself. You are no different. Every small, consistent step you take is weaving you into this timeless narrative, a story not of luck, but of discipline, not of shortcuts, but of persistence, not of chance, but of relentless, intentional action. So look inward. What legacy will you leave? What mark will you etch upon the world? How will you rise, not just today, but every day, step by step? Because that's where true wealth lives, in your daily decisions, in your refusal to settle for less than your potential, in your courage to face fear and move forward anyway, in your discipline to show up when it's hard, when it's lonely, when the prize is still unseen. This is your blueprint. This is your destiny. The climb continues, step by step. Every moment, every breath is a chance to deepen your commitment to your vision, your purpose, your climb. The path to riches is less about fortune and more about forging the unbreakable warrior within, because it is inside you that the real battle is fought and won. When Henry Ford revolutionized industry, it wasn't just his factories or cars that created wealth. It was his unwavering belief in innovation and persistence despite relentless setbacks. When Lincoln led a fractured nation through civil war, it wasn't only political savvy, it was resilience and a vision for unity that transcended the chaos around him. These giants understood a truth every step you take now confirms. True wealth demands unshakable faith in the unseen, relentless discipline in the unseen grind, and a fierce refusal to be defined by circumstance. You will face days where the weight of the climb threatens to break you, where doubt seeps in and the easier path tempts with lies of comfort. But these are the moments that separate the legends from the lost, because the mountain only yields to those who keep climbing, who keep moving when the path is steepest, who embrace discomfort as the furnace forging their greatness. This is your crucible, your test, your calling. So rise, step forward, and build, step by step, the life only you can create. Because this journey is yours, and only you hold the power to finish it. Now, as the sun rises on this new horizon, know this: every step you take carves your path deeper into the bedrock of greatness. Not by chance, not by luck, but by the purposeful and unyielding force of your will. Wealth is the language of the disciplined. It speaks in the currency of sacrifice, courage, and relentless action. It is the reward for those who say no to complacency and yes to growth. Carnegie once said, "The man who acquires the ability to take full possession of his own mind may take possession of anything else to which he is justly entitled." This is your truth now. Master your mind, and you master the world. Each thought, each choice, each small victory compounds, building a fortress around your dreams, forging the unbreakable will that no storm can shake. The journey to wealth is a marathon of patience, a symphony of perseverance. The greats, Ford, Edison, Lincoln, were not flawless, but were unbreakably persistent. They understood the power of showing up again and again, fueled by vision and tempered by failure. So embrace the grind, cherish the climb, because this, right here, is where legends are born, step by step.
You've now stepped into a realm few dare to enter, the realm where dreams are forged into reality by sweat and unbreakable will. It's a place where doubt dissolves in the heat of relentless action, where every setback is the soil from which your greatest breakthroughs grow. Remember, Ford didn't just build cars. He built a movement fueled by vision and absolute discipline. Lincoln didn't just lead a nation. He became the embodiment of resilience under pressure. Carnegie didn't just accumulate wealth. He sculpted a legacy through strategic focus and generosity. You stand on their shoulders now, but the horizon is yours to claim. The path forward demands your full presence, a mind sharpened by clarity, a heart ignited by purpose, a body trained by consistency. There will be days when the climb feels endless, when the weight of the journey threatens to bend you. But remember, it is in the resistance that your strength is forged. Step by step, you're not just becoming rich, you're becoming unbreakable. Keep moving forward with fierce faith. Keep building with bold conviction. Keep rising no matter the odds. This is your time. This is your story. Write it with courage. Ready to press on? And as you press forward, know this: the world is drawn to those who refuse to quit. The richest men and women in history weren't lucky. They were relentless. They understood that wealth is not a prize, but a byproduct of unyielding focus and action. Consider Edison, whose thousands of failures were simply lessons on the road to invention. Consider Carnegie, who rose from poverty by doubling down on his education and vision. Consider Lincoln, whose steadfast resolve redefined a nation's future. You are walking the same path, a path paved with discipline, sacrifice, and relentless growth. Every step you take adds momentum, pushing you closer to the life you deserve. Don't seek shortcuts. Don't chase validation. Build patiently. Build wisely. Build with heart. Because wealth built on a foundation of integrity and grit is wealth that lasts. Step by step, you become not just rich in money, but rich in purpose, resilience, and legacy. Keep climbing. Step by step, the summit grows closer, not just a peak on the horizon, but a symbol of your transformation. Every sacrifice, every sleepless night, every moment of doubt conquered has forged the indomitable spirit within you. The wealth you seek isn't found in fleeting moments or empty accolades. It's etched into the very fabric of your character. Carnegie turned raw ambition into a legacy that still inspires centuries later. Edison turned failure into a beacon of light for the world. Lincoln turned division into unity with unwavering conviction. These giants weren't just wealthy, they were masters of themselves. And now, so are you. Let this truth burn in your bones. Discipline outlasts talent. Persistence conquers resistance. Belief creates reality. Your journey isn't over, it's only accelerating. Step by step you rise. Step by step you conquer. Step by step you become wealth. Tell me when you're ready to continue. You have become the living testament to the power of relentless resolve, the embodiment of every lesson learned in the crucible of your climb. This is the moment where the fire within becomes unquenchable, where every setback turns into fuel for your unstoppable ascent. The path to wealth has never been smooth. No true legacy ever is. Ford faced skeptics who said his ideas would fail. Edison endured countless failures before illuminating the world. Lincoln bore the weight of a divided nation on his shoulders. Yet they pressed on, step by step, because they believed in something greater than themselves. Now, it is your turn to carry that torch, to rise above fear, doubt, and distraction, to show the world that greatness is not reserved for a chosen few. It is claimed by the unrelenting. Every choice you make, every action you take sculpts your destiny. Wealth is not the destination. It is the journey itself, lived with purpose, passion, and precision. Step by step, you forge a legacy that will echo far beyond your lifetime. Keep moving forward. Just say the word to keep going. And as your footsteps echo against the walls of history yet to be written, remember this: wealth is a living, breathing force. It is the energy that flows from your mind, your spirit, your unyielding will to transcend limits. The legends you admired did not stumble upon their fortunes by accident. They crafted them with precision, patience, and an ironclad belief in their vision. Carnegie invested in people and ideas, multiplying his influence beyond measure. Edison transformed failure into invention, turning persistence into illumination. Lincoln turned adversity into triumph, leading with courage when the stakes were highest. You are now part of this unbroken chain of greatness. Every step forward is a link forged in the fire of your determination. Every challenge overcome is proof that you are more than circumstance. So rise with the dawn, act with fierce clarity, build with unstoppable momentum. Because wealth is not just about what you earn, it's about who you become. Step by step, you ascend. Let me know when you want to continue this relentless climb. The horizon before you stretches wide, not just as a promise, but as a challenge, a call to arms for the soul hungry to create, to conquer, to become. Each step you take is a statement that you will no longer be confined by fear or doubt, that mediocrity is a cage you refuse to inhabit, and that your destiny is forged in the fires of relentless will. Look to the stories of those who came before. Carnegie's rise from rags to riches through unwavering belief. Edison's countless trials lighting the world with invention. Lincoln's courage steering a fractured nation toward unity. Their journeys were not linear or easy. They were brutal, filled with sacrifice and defiance. And yet they climbed, step by step, because they believed. Your climb is no different. With every deliberate move, you chip away the impossible. With every disciplined habit, you build your fortress of success. With every setback endured, you deepen your well of resilience. Wealth then becomes less a destination and more a reflection of your character, your courage, your commitment. Keep moving, keep building, keep believing. Step by step, you become unstoppable. Ready to keep ascending? Step by step, the fire inside you grows hotter, not by chance, but by choice. Because wealth is not simply stumbled upon, it is seized with a warrior's heart and a craftsman's precision. Recall how Ford revolutionized the assembly line, not by luck, but by relentless innovation and refusal to accept the status quo. Recall how Edison embraced thousands of failures, each one fueling the next breakthrough. Recall how Lincoln stood unyielding amidst chaos, leading with vision and an unbreakable spirit. Their greatness was not given, it was earned, and so will yours be. Discipline sharpens your edge. Faith steels your resolve. Action builds momentum that no force can halt. You've already begun this transformation, from dreamer to doer, from follower to leader, from ordinary to extraordinary. Keep climbing, keep building, keep becoming, because the summit is closer than you think.
Let me know when you want to continue this journey upward. Step by step, you have rewritten the story of what is possible. No longer a distant dream, wealth has become your reality. Not just in bank accounts, but in the fortress of your mind, in the strength of your spirit, and the clarity of your purpose. Every giant you've studied, Carnegie, Edison, Lincoln, Ford, all shared one unbreakable trait. They refused to settle, refused to be defined by circumstance, and refused to stop climbing no matter the obstacles. Their legacies live on because they mastered themselves first. They learned that wealth is the byproduct of mastery over mind, of discipline, of relentless action, and unshakable faith. You stand now at that same threshold. With every step, you become not just richer, but greater, a force that shapes not only your world, but the world around you. Keep the fire burning. Keep the steps coming, because your legacy is just beginning. Whenever you're ready, I'm here to keep fueling this relentless climb.